What's up everybody, welcome back. Now we are going to learn the concept of the for loops in C++ programming language. We understood the concept of the while loop, the concept of the control structures, selections or decision making. Now we are studying the loop section. So all the loops are same as I said, but there is a slight differences there. Some loops are better to use in somewhere, but while that loop is not good to use in a specific area. So once we covered all the loops concept, then we will have a comparison between all the loops, which loop should be used in where and how to use them. So during this section we will have a lot of examples, and you yourself by yourself you will understand why we should use this loop and why we should use the another one. So now let's move forward with the for loop. So for loop is again same as doing same job as the while loop. In for loop it is good when we know the condition, how many times we are going to repeat a job continuously. If we know the condition, predefine it. If we know already how many times we are going to do the loop, then it is better to use the for loop. For loop is more flexible than while loop, and it is mostly used in pattern designing and some complicated tasks. Now let's see the syntax of the for loop. Here we have the syntax: initialization statement, test expression, and update statement. So here, if all these conditions satisfied, they are correct, the conditions are true, then we are going to come inside the control structures and doing some job out here. So now as an example, if we could see for is a keyword, and here we have initialization statement. We already declared the variable outside of the loop, and here we just say O is less than, here is the condition. As I said, if we know the number of times which we are going to do the task already by default, we know that one. So here mostly in for loop we are defining. In while loop we just say in is less than equal to 0, in is not equal to 0, or something like that. But in this mostly we can say O is less than in, but mostly we are going to use when we know the number of repetition by default already. So this is the update statement, and if these statements are true, then we are going to come inside and doing this stuff. If the test expression is false, then we are going to get out of the control structures. We are not going to come again inside this, and we are going to do whatever outside the for loop. So now, first of all, once this is going to initialize, it's not going to change. We are not going to again and again initialize it. For example, we are going to print 10 from 0 to 10. Now let's have an example, then you will understand it better. So here, let's copy it. Let's say I, and here we are going to print from 1 to 10. For I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. So what we are going to do, see out. So here I with, let's say here, let's give the reference to print that, and here with a new line, ENDL generates a new line. For loop .cpp. Now let's execute it. Here we go. Here we have from 0 to 9, 10 numbers. So it did the same job as a while loop, but it brought a new usage, a new flexibility, and new things in loops. So let's move forward on the next lecture, having some examples, having some exercises with for loop. Then we will understand the concept of the for loop better. Let's move forward on the next lecture.